I've done a lot at Pitt. Pitt has just had so many opportunities. I didn't even know the full extent of what I could do until I came to college. I've known since I was little that I've wanted to write. Becoming an English major just naturally came out of that. I was inspired by my dad primarily. He would always tell me stories, and they would change the way I thought about things. They would teach me things, and I wanted to do the same thing for someone else. After I graduate, I'm hoping to teach in South Korea, and I'm learning Korean right now, and it's a bit of a task, but I'm really enjoying it. I think it's important for people to go abroad, to connect with one another and exchange, explore as much as possible, dabble in a lot of things, narrow at some point, but always keep your feelers in broad places. In your daily life, you're not just living by yourself, you're living with others, you're working with others. I think it's important to communicate, that way we live in harmony.
When I'm not involved in art, it's like I don't know what to do with myself. I started studying history of art and architecture when I first came here, so I took Italian on a whim. I quickly learned that Italian is a great thing to have under your belt studying art. I got really interested in the culture, so I started doing the Renaissance and medieval certificate. I took Professor Toker's seminar, and it was on the Florence Cathedral. He asked us, would you guys be interested in going to Italy with me and actually looking at these things we've been talking about? He asked the study abroad office, and they were like, we're gonna fund you. We flew to Italy. We saw so many things normal tourists wouldn't see. It was a whirlwind trip. I am able to study something that I feel comfortable in, something that I can grow in, and something that I see my future in.
When it came time to apply to schools, I decided to do something I absolutely loved. I am pursuing studio arts. I have a strong interest in science. My other degree that I'm pursuing is physics. Pittsburgh has a very, very well-known physics program. That was part of the draw, is that I'm like, if I'm going to do a very hard major, I better get the most out of it. But then I also looked at the studio arts program and loved every class that was listed: sculpture, etching, painting, and I'm like, I'm sold. This is awesome. It's so easy to be a double major here, a triple major even. I know triple majors, and you can do it in 4.5 years. Not a lot of colleges give you the chance to pursue multiple degrees with the ease that Pittsburgh does. That is why I wanted to come here, because I could do the two things I really wanted to do. Most colleges are specialized. They pick one or the other. I could do both here.
So the moment of truth for me was the first art history class I ever took. The professor was amazing, incredibly smart. It really made me think. The week after I started taking the class, I had declared as an art history major. Everyone in the humanities should have the experience of doing their own research that interests them. I've always been interested in popular culture, always been interested in history and how that affects our lives. This is important to me because it's making me realize that this is something I want to do for the rest of my life. The humanities are, by their definition, interdisciplinary, so you get a lot of various fields involved in my studies. You can look at culture across the ages and how it is shaped by art and architecture and writing and languages, and understanding culture helps us understand ourselves in a way.
I found myself to be more creative and more fruitful and more independent and perseverant than I thought was possible. I learned so much more about things I wasn't intending to learn. I studied things I wasn't anticipating. You know, you come in with the idea that, yes, I'm going to learn. But what about the surprises that you learn that change your perspective? That's what happened to me on a daily, on a weekly basis. It's not exclusive, it's very inclusive. If you want to do something, there are faculty members, honors college, and arts and sciences opportunities to help you achieve what you want to achieve. You know, they say Pitt is a really great graduate research university. It's also a really great place for undergraduates to thrive and make those connections and help you become who you want to be, no matter what you want to study, and to make the most of that as a person and as a scholar, as a community member, as yourself.
I've always been really interested in the arts. I'm double majoring in history of art and architecture and economics with a minor in French. Studying a diverse range of subjects gives me a lot of skills that I can put in my future career. My ultimate career goal is to become a curator or director of a museum or gallery. In my capstone course for the art history major, we had the opportunity to work on a research project, and we had to design a public art program. So that kind of ties in my art history research knowledge and also my interest in curatorial work. I think Pitt itself is also very generous in giving research grants and scholarships for students who want to try for these opportunities. I've really sort of grown into myself and what I want to do and who I am and who I plan to be in the future and really what I want to do with my life.
So one day I received a postcard in the mail from Pitt, so I was like, sure, why not, I'll come visit. I came here and I loved it. I absolutely loved the campus, I loved the city. I entered as a molecular biology major. The more I studied here, the more I realized how easy it was to add a second major, and so I added religious studies. I get all the sciences and I also get to be more creative. Religious studies actually will help me a lot with my future plans too, because I'm learning better writing skills, better interpretation skills, and I'm also learning to be more creative and more open to other opinions. I've really learned a lot about other cultures and other religions through my classes in the religious studies department, and I think that the biggest thing that's done for me is made me more empathetic towards other people. If you can understand their culture, you can understand more about their values and who they are and what they believe in. It really helps you connect with other people.